Okay, this is late August 2022. I am starting a little closer up because our car is where I normally stand in the street to start garden tour-esque videos. I'm getting over cold, so my voice sounds deep, but I really like watching these from last year, so I'm going to keep doing them um, a couple times. And my neighbors will make noise, but that is because this is a tiny urban garden. So zinnias are really happy in the front. I just remulched it. I do have okra that's finally doing something, but otherwise it's mostly kind of weedy and wild. A little bit cottagey, hopefully, is how it comes across, and not just neglected. We have the mulberry tree that I got for my birthday. I'm pretty sure that's Rebecca. I'm not 100% sure. We just cut back the monkey grass along the edges to try to get it under control. Again, happy zinnias. There's a butterfly in there, but I don't know if it can even be seen. Yeah, on my terrible quality camera. Starting more seeds for the fall, so the porch is a little torn up, but I've got happy cucumbers, banana plants. The banana trees will come inside as it gets cool. Got the fig tree that I got for my birthday, and he's leafed out and gotten much taller. This is the peach tree that I just pruned, and I'm attempting to relocate some red twig dogwoods, so we'll see if they look better than this in a while. I know transplanting in the summer is risky, but that's what those are. And then I've got mulberries, 3 in a row right there, and I've put some strawberries around the base. Attempting to hit the permaculture layers a little bit in such a small space. So the mulberry and the peach would be the tree layer, and then the red twig dogwoods would be shrubs, and they are a native shrub. And then the strawberries would be ground cover. And then hopefully I can plant some garlic and onions to keep deer away and rabbits away. And that would be even another layer. More zinnias. There's a fig tree inside there. And starting to get some figs off of this guy. The mulberry tree that moved with us that's now much taller than me. And this is my little side that I'm trying so hard to make like a whimsical cottage walk. It's getting there. It will get there. This is elderberry and weeds in here. So I love having an elderberry patch. Backyard is a mess, but this is impromptu because I wanted to just do it while I had a second. Hydrangea is very, very happy, so I'm happy. Everything needs to be watered, so that's what I will do. Everything's pulled out to be sorted. Like I said, getting over cold. Hardy kiwi finally started doing something. It's actually growing along the fence, so hopefully I'm not going to kill it. There's another mulberry because they grow really well here. This is a mahonia. This is something that we got because my son thought it looked cool. It actually does make these really neat berries. They don't taste great, but they are somewhat medicinal. So he liked it, and it was at a plant sale randomly, so we got it. And then my sad peppers that are probably going to shrivel up. The pond is trying its hardest to stay full, but it's just been so hot. But it is still a nice thing to have right here out the back door. So the poor garden, it's switched. There's the rain barrel. It does fill up well. I just need to get a spout on it. I don't know if you can even see because everything's growing up, but I actually have a little arborist-ish doorway. Lots of things in buckets because I ran out of space. And then the main walk down. Last year I had several rows going this way, and so I switched it to 2 long rows. And then along the fence I have alternating roses and raspberries and blueberries. So when that fills in, it'll be lovely. Right now it looks a little wild. There's also these huge lilies that are everywhere in my yard that just keep coming up. So I've got some things and some random cinder blocks, some toothache plant, and some peppers. Got a cucumber here in a pot, and this is the only cucumber I'm getting, and I'm honestly leaving it to save the seeds because I've had no luck with cucumbers this year, but I do want to be able to have seeds for next year. So he will just have to stay on there till he gets gross and yellow. The marigolds have suddenly come out super happy. Salvia is, of course, happy because it's always happy. My thyme is not blowing out of proportion like most people's does. I don't know why, but that's stevia, and that one got moved and I thought it had died, and so it did not die, and I'm very happy about it. And that one is a perennial, so I will just have stevia, hopefully in perpetuity. This is supposed to be bee balm. I've yet to see it bloom. I have it in a couple of places. This looks like a weed. I guess technically it's a weed, but it's chicory. I planted it on purpose, even though it's technically a weed, because A, the flowers are a beautiful color, and also you can use the root. These are, I think they're Dr. Weich's tomatoes, but they also could be Brandywine Pink. I planted a lot more seeds halfway through the season, and I have not kept them totally straight. This garden has been a little sad this year, and I'm not sure why. It has not done very well. So, sorry, like I said, I'm getting over a cold for the 2 people that might watch this other than me. Got melons that are trying. My squash is trying to come back out that had died back. So that's cool. So I've got one, I think it's the Tennessee melon, if we can get it. Yeah. So it's trying. Well, it took all season to just get that guy on there. I did not think that these were cherry tomatoes. So I think what happened with these is either the Mexico midget seeds were not Mexico midgets and they are huge and tall plants, or I tried to save seeds from last year and they crossed with a cherry. So I've got a lot of cherry tomatoes and I did not actually plant that many. So that's probably what it is. This one's cool. This is a cherry that I planted. This is a centiflora, red centiflora. I got these from M.I. Gardener and they look so cool. Like the tomatoes themselves are just little tomatoes, but the big clusters of flowers and tomatoes is just a neat look. It just looks more abundant than it actually probably even is. These I tried because #Jess told me to. Jess from Roots and Refuge listed purple bumblebees as one of her favorites. It's also why I was trying the blueberry tomatoes, which is what these are, and I've gotten a couple, but these have not done well here. So I'm going to just chalk it up to this weird season and try again next year. I've saved some seeds. I've planted some pumpkins probably in July just to see if they have enough time, but they're going slow. Everything's going so slow. These are climbing triple crop. I thought, but they look a little bumpy, like something different. So that's what they should be, but I don't know. I guess everything crossed last year. I did not do a good job saving seeds. They're all tomatoes though. So yeah, more tomatoes. I thought these were Cherokee purple. They are cherry tomatoes. So that's kind of how it's going. This is a Cocozelle zucchini squash that I am trying to let go to seed. That's why I'm letting it get yellow. I would like to, like I said, make sure I have seeds for next year so I can try again because this weird year. This is my asparagus patch. This did not move. It was just in a bed going this way last year. So that's where the asparagus will be forever. This sage has overwintered and come back in the same place. These are more of the blueberry tomatoes that I thought they were dead. They flushed back out. I'm going to let them try it because at this point in the season, it's either that or yank everything out. So, Rose is wrapped up in I think what's called hummingbird vine. It is definitely a weed. It is definitely not a nice guy. It's taken over this part of the garden, but I'm not dealing with it right now. I'm pretty sure that's a daisy. In here, onions, Walla Walla onions that I left in so they could go to seed. I've saved the seed, and now I need to figure out if I can still harvest the onion to eat or if I just need to leave it. This is cinnamon basil, which is probably one of my favorite smells, honestly. I've not used it in anything, but I just love to smell it. So I hope it goes to seed everywhere. This is my second round of zucchinis because for fall gardening you can do that. Grapevine, all the herbs. This is oregano, parsley, excuse me, chives and marjoram. Not all of those are perennial, so we'll see. Oregano definitely is. That guy, that's why it has this space right here, because it has filled it up completely. And it will keep growing. I've got blueberries here along the fence. Back here is where I had our compost piles, and I just recently laid down cardboard and spread them out. And so what I think I'm going to do is get more cardboard, obviously, to cover up where this grass has come through, and make this another garden bed. It doesn't get a lot of sun, but things that are sensitive to our heat might do well there. This is what will be my beautiful window greenhouse once it's cool enough for me to work on it again, because once it started getting hot, there was just too much other stuff to do. This is a garden bed I added in ground this year, and I put these TP trellises in it, and they just blow over every time there's a storm. So I've quit standing them up. But maybe when I put beans in for the fall, I can do pole beans and stand the TPs back up and give them another shot. And these are my sassy ladies. They are in there turning food scraps into eggs for me and making some lovely compost. They've done a really good job. They're now laying 5 eggs a day. Not each, like laying 1 egg each. There's 5 of them. Added this bed as I've gone this year. You can still see the cardboard in some places of it, because as I dump out containers and things I'm growing in containers, they go in here. So there is a mishmash of some medicinal flowers, some just pretty flowers, and lots of tomatoes, and what I think is a cantaloupe. So this is, excuse me, ground cherries. Our neighbor is mowing the grass, and so it's like really messing up my throat. I planted them from seed. They came up and died, and then they dropped ground cherries and like have reflushed out this big just in the last like couple of months. So I love ground cherries. This is amaranth and ginger. The ginger is an experiment. I rooted it from store-bought ginger, and it's kind of growing. So yeah, I'm trying to turn this into a garden bed in front of the barn. Yeah. Got our bunnies in their somewhat haphazard setup right now. They're all okay. We bring them out ice water and stuff. And we keep them in the shade. This stays in the shade all day. But there's the babies. They're so sweet. But yeah, so that's about it. I'm not going to look in the very back right now because, like I said, he is mowing the lawn quite aggressively, and so I won't be able to hear anything. I'm just going to peek over at what I have next to the driveway, because there might be big changes coming to that next year, and I want to be able to look back for reference. So this has not changed. The honeysuckle is so happy this year. It didn't do anything last year. I thought it was dead, and it was just waiting. This rose bush keeps getting sick, so I've pruned it back really hard. And what's coming on new looks okay. We'll see. My big honkin' tree trunk of a blackberry, pruned that back and have rooted the cuttings. And then all these are a weed that has little purple flowers, but it's a host plant for some kind of butterfly, and I can't remember which one. And there's certain kinds of beneficial insects that overwinter in them. So I'm leaving them for now, but that might be changing next year. We'll see. And now we are back around to my wild crazy with our butterfly. So, yeah, short and sweet, but that's kind of the gist. And we'll see what happens in the next few months.